Hey everyone, thanks for joining me for today's video. A couple of videos back, or maybe 3 videos back, I did a video about fresh, easy, everyday fragrances that are grab and go. You can use them to run errands, and you're just going to smell out of the shower fresh, clean, and pleasant to everyone. The difference with today's lineup is that these are the luxuriously clean, sophisticated smelling fragrances. A few of these are challenging. I'll leave the most challenging ones to the end of the video for those of you that want the easier going ones first, the easier reach ones. But these have a level of sophistication to them that those other fragrances don't. Those are everyday, grab and go. These are a little bit more sort of rich, luxurious. It's a whole nother category up, like your top tier, luxuriously clean fragrances. I have, I think, 10. Let's dive right in because I want to talk about these right away. So this first one I learned about through my fragrance groups on Facebook. I haven't really seen it, at least myself, in other social media outlets. It's newer on the market, and I can't rave about this enough. It deserves all the praise that it's starting to get. And by today's fragrance price standards, this one is actually on the more affordable side. This is from MITH Bangkok is the name of the brand, and it's called Nude. And the color of the bottle sort of foretells what you get with this experience. Let me also say that this has been a major hit in this house. When I spray it, even lightly on my arms, apparently it's a lot more projecting than I gave it credit for at first. I may spray it lightly on my arms, and someone will walk into the room that I'm in and just run over to sniff me, like intoxicated by this super clean, luxurious smell. It's been described as smelling a little bit like Nivea lotion. I also want to say for those of you that are fans of certain perfumers that this is a Quinton Biche creation here. And it is everything a luxurious, clean fragrance should be. It's got creamy undertones. It has just like a hint of powderiness. I wouldn't call it a powdery fragrance at all, just sort of like a hint. Very feminine florals. And it does smell like the fanciest lotion that you've ever put on. Some of the notes at the top, bergamot, pear, peach. I don't feel like any of that is pronounced to me. In the middle, violet leaves, peony, lily of the valley. I do feel like the lily of the valley is a little bit more prominent than the other notes, which gives you this sort of clean, soapy smell. And the base notes are vetiver, tonka bean, moss, and musk. Of that, I would say the tonka bean and the musk are prominent to me. I don't pick up any moss in this at all. It just smells so clean and creamy on the skin and luxurious and apparently fills the air. It's a very sort of full, robust smelling, clean fragrance and apparently projects. The lasting power for me is rather moderate. I would say in the 4 to 6 hour range. And this is sitting out on the website for the brand. Oh, it's sold out. I'm so sorry, but I will link other places where it might be available. $89 for the full bottle here. This is a 60 ml bottle. Oh, and I'm just learning on the website that they are no longer selling this nude bottle. They are moving this to a red bottle. So let's see. The 60 ml bottle and the red bottle is available. Pretty bottle. I think I prefer this one, but look, this is one. When I run out of this, I'm going to run on over and get me that red bottle. This is one of the most exquisite clean fragrances I have smelled in a long, long time. And like I said, on the affordable side, they also sell 10 mils and samples and all of that. Let's move on. Speaking of affordable, because I have some mega expensive ones in this lineup too, one of the beauties that has continued to hold its place, keep its crown on in my collection as fragrances have rotated in and out throughout the years. I can't let go of this one. This is Prada La Femme. When I first purchased this, I wasn't like ready for the beauty of this fragrance and I thought it was just okay and didn't understand what all the hype was about. As I wore it more and as it has matured in my collection and deepened, this is a deep love, particularly if you want to smell luxuriously summertime, spring and summertime clean. You can wear this all year round, but really it shines the most to me in warm weather. The primary sort of star player here is a soft, delicate frangipani note that's surrounded by tuberose, other yellow florals. I think there's a little beeswax in the fragrance. I want to say there's vanilla and then ylang ylang as well. So like a tropical and white, yellow and white floral mixture together, like tropical garden type of deal. One of the distinguishing factors of this fragrance, though, is that it's undeniably soapy as well. So it's got those floral aspects that add this sophisticated richness and sort of matronly, adult, very grown up feeling fragrance. But it's also got this playful, more youthful feel from this soapiness to it. And it's like the most luxurious 5-star hotel type of creamy soap like ever. My one complaint about this fragrance is that it isn't the longest lasting. You might get about a half a day's wear. By that, I mean something in the neighborhood of 4 to 6 6 hours, but there is no denying when you put this on that you are your very best clean, feminine, soapy, luxurious self. It's got that little bit of a tropical garden feel to it as well. That part to me is less pronounced than the soapy aspects of it. And it's not a bar of soap, it's a luxurious, creamy, very rich, emollient smelling soap, if that makes sense. Quite luxurious of a fragrance. And I think this is quite affordable now on gray market sites. I don't see it on the Prada site anymore. I'll check one more time before I post this video and I'll put up here whether I see it on the site or not. And so I don't know if it is a discontinued fragrance and they're just selling off the stock that they may have at retailers and at gray sites or whatever. All of the fragrances will be linked below. If you would like to shop through those links, you are supporting the channel. I thank you so much for that. And if not, you can go look on your own. Go on Google and do a search for the term, the fragrance name, and then go to the shopping tab of your browser and see what's available and where it's available. But this is a gem of a fragrance, one that I purchased early on in my channel about 4 years ago. I'm in my 5th year of this channel, if I remember correctly. Is that right? Yes. And it has managed to hold its own, hold its place among all of the collection. So that's Prada La Femme, the original. I have tried the Intense as well. The Intense is more amped up on the tuberose note and is maybe just a little bit stronger than I would have liked. So between the two, I ended up keeping this one. So we're still in the more wearable, easygoing version of these luxurious, sophisticated, clean smells. I have two more in this category, and then we'll move into maybe medium challenging and then definitely a challenging three to end us up. So this is from the Harmonist YIN Transformation. This is the parfum version. I believe there is an eau de parfum version as well that is just as lovely. This one happens to be, in my opinion, a little bit creamier and deeper than the eau de parfum. They are both fantastic choices. This one is a pricier one. I do find the composition to be quite delightful and worth exploring if that price range doesn't scare you. And there are discount codes to be had. Of course, I'll put all of the discount codes below if you would like to explore getting some off of this fragrance. The notes here are interesting. You get a little bit of a floral citrusy opening, but the majority of the fragrance is this clean, very vibrant light, almost like a bright sunny day version of a clean, luxurious fragrance. This one I find to be really uplifting. The musk here is light and bright. It's a sort of wispy musk that sits high in the atmosphere. It's not a dense, thick musk like you might find in other fragrances and some people would find off-putting. There is sandalwood and benzoin in the base of the fragrance, and so it has this sort of soft, subtle, almost like a creamy woodiness. The middle of the fragrance, I really do think, is not only just the heart in terms of the notes, but also the heart of the experience as well. Almond milk, ylang ylang, and iris. So you get a little bit of milky dreaminess, iris that comes across as like a your skin but better type of scent. So I would describe it as opening up with a little bit of citrus floral, settling down into a your skin but better milky floral middle, and bolstered by that beautiful, wispy, white kind of musk with a creamy woodiness in the base. Delightful. This one tends to last longer on me and it has deepened as I have had it more. This one will take me through a whole workday. It's a nicely projecting fragrance, not beast mode, but you will definitely get a really nice scent bubble. People will smell it on you and you will smell fresh and vibrant and clean with feminine edge and these milky undertones to it. Really, really delightful. I can't recommend this next fragrance enough, especially for this category. Maybe it captures this category the most of all the fragrances that I'm going to talk about in terms of being like luxuriously sophisticated, clean. And I nearly passed on this fragrance because when I sampled it, I thought it was nice, but like, what's the big deal? Why is everyone raving about this? Until I did a full wear experience. And then I thought to myself, oh, I get it now. One that my husband loves on me too. When he walked into the room, he's like, oh my gosh, this smells so good in here. This is from Maison Francis Kurkdjian. It's called 724. I'm not sure what the name stands for. I could probably look it up for you, but I think that's less important than telling you that the fragrance itself is the epitome of soapy cleanliness with this creaminess as well. This one has some nice florals. In fact, I would say this one is a bit of a younger cousin, sister, something like that to Prada La Femme, which is a more mature, tropical, clean garden smell with that soapy, luxurious, creamy undertone. This one is a little bit more vibrant and thin in texture than Prada La Femme, which is a bit creamier. But nonetheless, this has some creaminess and density to it as well. The main notes, mandarin, bergamot, jasmine, ambery, woody accord. I don't really feel like I pick up a whole lot of woodiness in this fragrance, perhaps deep in the dry down, but the primary experience is a very sort of bright, happy, floral cleanliness. It's so clean, like squeaky clean, like a bar of soap that you wash yourself with the bar of soap, but then you also put on a luxurious lotion over that. So you smell both the cleanliness of the soap as well as like the creaminess from the lotion. And maybe the lotion has some floral touches to it. Exquisite. Beast mode. Nearly choked myself out the last time that I wore this because I oversprayed it. You don't need to. A couple of sprays, three, four at the most, will take you through the entire day. I smelled myself well into the evening hours with this. Worth every penny. Beautiful creation. Beautiful creation. I nearly passed it up just on the sampling experience alone. Glad I took a chance and got the full bottle when I saw it on sale. Magnificent. Okay, so I'm going to talk about three fragrances that are perhaps a little bit more challenging, and I'll explain why. I still think that these are easily wearable by most fragrance lovers, but there will be a few of you that maybe won't jive with these or think that they are for you, and I'll explain why. But I do think they belong in this category, hands down, hands down. So this is my first from this house in terms of a full bottle. I have sampled a lot and have joked around in other videos about how I don't really love the bottles. But then these Absolute bottles have a different cap and it made me look at them differently. So this is from Byredo. This is Blanch Absolute. I tried the original Blanche many years ago. My husband and I were sampling the set and he really didn't like the clean nature of it at that time. So I bypassed it and never thought about it again. When this Absolute version came out, my interest was piqued again, particularly because they changed the design a little bit here with this top. And can I just pause and say one thing? For those of you, if you know, you know, and if you don't know, this is going to sound crazy to you, but Disney is one of my favorite places to vacation in all the world, and I love going to Animal Kingdom. It's probably my favorite of the Disney parks. And in the section of the park that is an homage to East Africa in particular, they have some structures that remind me of this top, like the texture on the structure for some reason puts me in the mindset of this top or vice versa. This puts me in the mindset of that. And for some weird reason, that is appealing to me about the top. I know that sounds wild. The fragrance itself, friends, lasts a very, very long time. So one of the main complaints about the original Blanche is that it was maybe more of a fleeting fragrance or softer fragrance. This is your quintessential super duper clean fragrance. The reason I have it in like the medium challenging category, if you want to call it that, is because this can feel, I think, to some folks like it has some sharp edges to it that for some will feel very crisp and clean and structured and linear, and to others may feel a little bit harsh or headache inducing. This does have aldehydes at the top. Aldehydes can be challenging notes for some. Aldehydes appear in different ways depending on the kind of aldehyde used. It can be sparkling, fresh, effervescent. It can be like the Chanel type of aldehydes or something else. This is, to me, a clean, very linear, soapy aldehyde. There's rose in the top. And in the middle, I think, is what gives this its structure, and that's peony and violet. Violet, in particular, is a very cool, linear purple note that can feel austere. It can feel severe. It can feel like it has harsh edges to some folks. And then for others, it smells fresh, like it's interpreted as a fresh, clean smell. So it really depends on your relationship with the violet note. I think it does really nicely in here, but I can see how this feels sharp to some. The base here is a variety of musks and sandalwood. And I do think that this is a musky, clean fragrance. So primary notes for me are aldehydes, violet, and the musks. Those are the star players for me. I think this plays really well for those of you that like to smell crisp, very, very crisp. Like if you think about a freshly pressed shirt, the sight of a freshly pressed shirt that has been starched, where it's like the collars are popping and standing up on their own, that kind of vibe is the scent of this fragrance. That violet and peony give it a very gentle floral heart, but I think the violet may feel a little bit austere to some folks. Nonetheless, this is undeniably beautiful. Quintessentially, this category, this lacks the creaminess that some of the other fragrances that I've talked about have. This is truly a clean, soapy, almost laundry smelling fragrance, and it is fantastic. But you have to like those crisp lines. I think that's all I want to say about this one. It's a pricey fragrance too. I ended up purchasing, I think, the smaller bottle here. So again, look out for those discount codes. I am so deeply enamored with the next fragrance that I want to tell everyone to rush out and buy it if you love this category because it is a slam dunk. And now that I have read the description on the Armani site, we are talking about Musk Shamal. I am even more deeply in love with it because it talks about the perfumer intending for this to smell like the breath of the desert. And I am a fanatic of the movies Dune, Dune 1 and Dune 2, featuring Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya. Like, I could watch those movies endlessly on repeat, one after the other, all day long. They're such beautiful movies. The cinematography, the cast, everything about it, the whole vibe of it. Even the sandworms fascinate me in those movies. If you haven't seen the movies, definitely check them out, but make sure you watch part one first and then part two, and then go back and watch part one because you'll pick up things that you had not picked up the first time. So anyway, we can talk about that another day. But this is Musk Shamal, and it is one of the most amazing clean fragrances. I am smelling more of the ambery tones in this as it sits longer in my collection. Like that is coming out more from the fragrance. This is considered a floral musky fragrance, so maybe not traditional for this category. It says a plethora of musks combined with aerial notes create a vaporous and captivating facet. An opulent rose offers floral, enlightening notes, while amber woods and cedarwood bring a warm and vibrant sensuality intensified by vanilla. So, of all the fragrances that I'm going to talk about today, I would say that this is the warmest feeling of them. But there's no denying that it is this musky, luxuriously creamy, soapy fragrance. So, when I think about creamy, soapy, think about shower gels that are white because they want you to feel like they're creamy, so they color them white. Like, think about like your luxurious Dove soaps that have, they're really thick, they smell really good. Add some ambery touches, infuse a bunch of almost like musky lightness into this fragrance, and then sprinkle some magic sophistication on it, and you have musk chamal. It is undeniably unique, warm, clean, fresh, sophisticated. This is the person at the summer soiree with the most elegant either dress or suit on. You know, that finely tailored garment that is made just for their body with the finest materials. Hair is perfectly done, every hair is in place, and they sweep into the room with their regal sophistication. That is musk chamal. Warm, musky, clean, gloriously creamy. I can't get enough of this fragrance. I think it is fantastic. Another one that's worth every penny of the retail price. Sometimes you can find this on sale. If I find it on sale, I'll link it below for you or let you know where else you can get it. Of course, you can always get it on the Armani site as well. I almost forgot to mention why this might be considered challenging by some. And for me, it is because it is so grown up. This is a very mature fragrance. It doesn't smell vintage or retro or anything like that. But you gotta be a lot of personality to pull this one off and be very confident. Gorgeous fragrance. So then perhaps one of the inspirations for having this separate, sophisticated luxe clean fragrance video at all is Borelli by Tiziana Terenzi. Love these bottles here. It's just so pretty. This one could be considered challenging because it has a depth to it that maybe wouldn't be associated with this category, but there's no denying for me that this smells very luxuriously soapy. I'll also say this has a lot of florals that if you are not a floral lover, particularly white and yellow florals, it may feel a little bit overwhelming for you and it might feel a little bit too mature. This opens up with citrus and aldehydes as well. And the heart of this has tuberose, rose, ylang ylang, violet, lily of the valley. The base is fairly thick and robust as well. There are woody notes, some deep woody notes like ebony and musk and vanilla. The net effect is you get this aldehydic floral fragrance to open it, and then as it settles down, it starts to become deeper and creamier and cleaner smelling. This is another one that smells like luxuriously clean lotion plus soap together. So if you think about 724 as being the sort of younger sister cousin in terms of intensity of Prada La Femme, this might be the older aunt, mother, grandmother figure to La Prada because it's got more depth and body and it is just so undeniably luxurious. Undeniably luxurious. If you like Prada La Femme, if this is a slam dunk for you, I think Borelli is one that you should probably check out. Very sort of similar in tone and feel. This one is even like a deeper creaminess and very, very powerful and long lasting. So there you go. By the way, this one, Prada La Femme, because the longevity is sort of mid on this. If you want something that's going to take you all day through the night, give Borelli a try. You'll get similar vibes as Prada La Femme, maybe a little bit heavier, more pronounced florals here, but that creamy lotion cleanliness will take you through the entire day and just gorgeous. Very, very intoxicating fragrance, very powerful. I have worn too much of this and choked everyone out. This house in general does not play around with its longevity and projection. And this is no exception. This will fill up a room and it will last all day. So be light on the trigger with this one, or you're going to suffocate some folks around you. And we don't want that happening, right? So these last three, I think, fall squarely into the more challenging category, at least for when you think about the majority of fragrance lovers. I think you're somebody that would need to really enjoy strong fragrances, interesting and unique fragrances to appreciate these. This next one is actually quite a pricey fragrance, or at least it was when I purchased it. I don't know what it's out on the market for now. This is from Xerjoff. It's called PIKOVAYA DAMA. For me, this is probably one of the most special occasion of the group because it has this depth and intensity to it that I think the others don't, and maybe the next one too. For me, this feels like a fragrance that harkens back to like the Chanel number fives of the world, those aldehydic old school fragrances that have a lot of florals and a lot of sort of woody and ambery anchor notes to them. This is in that same category for me. I feel like it's a little bit fresher and more updated than like your Chanel number five, which I love too. I love Chanel number five. I have it. It could have been in this category as well. This is very aldehydic, although you don't see any aldehydes listed in the note pyramid, at least not on the Xerjoff website. They list as the olfactory pyramid a bunch of citrusy notes and rose at the top of the fragrance. I do feel like it opens very bright and fresh, maybe even having something in the neighborhood of a tiny bit of like a camphorous note. And then in the mid, there's iris and cedar, nutmeg, coriander. It has a little bit of spiciness, like kitchen spiciness in the mid. And then there's patchouli, musk, vanilla, and sandalwood in the base. So this is a very substantive fragrance. It lasts a long time. It projects. It has a very royal, regal presence in the room. And even though there aren't aldehydes listed, I feel like I get aldehydes. And if you look at reviews, that is what people pick up from this fragrance as well. And so that is why it is in this category, but it's challenging because it has such a melange of interesting notes, the citrus, the spices, the florals, that cedar and musk and vanilla in the base. It's quite a powerhouse of a fragrance. You will knock yourself out if you overspray. Stick to just maybe 3 sprays at the most of this kind of fragrance. Four if you're feeling footloose and fancy free that day, not worried about knocking people out. Doesn't take a lot. Very pricey fragrance. Super duper sophisticated, clean with some edges to it. I feel like PIKOVAYA DAMA and MUSC SHAMAL would make a good date. They would make a good date because they're both unique, they're deep, they have this warmth to them while also being clean and luxurious, and they would just pair well together. These would be like the king and the queen of the ball here. I have such a hard time describing this next fragrance, but it's one of my favorites from the house of Amouage. This is Lineage in this beautiful turquoisey, greenish, bluish bottle here. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. And although there's nothing in the note structure that will point to this smelling luxurious and sophisticatedly clean, it absolutely does. It's got such a fresh, beautiful vibe to it. At the top, what's prominent to me is the ginger. There's also pepper and saffron, but the ginger kind of stands out. Maybe a little bit of that pepperiness depending on the day, but not a lot. And then as the fragrance progresses, you get, I think, prominently frankincense and myrrh. And there are other woody notes. I find this fragrance so challenging to describe, but it's got this sort of aquatic nature to it. It smells a little spicy, super duper fresh, the most elevated, concentrated, clean. I feel like this is almost an artistic interpretation with some edge of like a Blanche Absolute, right? Like if this is your more simple, clean, linear, musky, violet aldehydic fragrance, this is like a Renaissance painting or something of like your Blanche Absolute. I realize that doesn't help you in terms of thinking about what it smells like, but that's probably the beauty of this fragrance. The best that I can do is that it smells like the most sophisticated spa oils blending in the air in a very posh, expensive spa. I'm talking about the ones that you have to save up for just to get the 1 hour massage because they're going to take your money. Those places where the air just smells so essential oil luxurious is what this comes across to me. And it has this clean edge to it that is undeniable, fresh, and beautiful. One of the most beautiful, most unique fragrances in my entire collection, bar none. Another fragrance that I think has like undeniably vibes in this category, and I'm leaving it to the end because I think it's perhaps the most challenging to envision being part of this category, but I think about it as like the most elevated, sophisticated, clean, fresh, uplifting, transportative, transforming fragrance. And this is White Pearl from the House of Oud. One of you suggested this to me. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I took a chance on this fragrance. It is magnificent. Another one that, like the Amouage lineage, is so challenging to describe. I'll share some of the notes: ylang ylang, cardamom, and pink pepper at the top. It does open up a little bit spicy, a little bit floral. I also detect amber and clean vibes, clean, fresh, linear, crisp vibes here. In the middle, it's rose, iris, and tonka bean, and in the base, ambergris and marine notes. So I do get this sort of like salty sea air in the freshest way imaginable, like a fresh, clean, spa-like interpretation of marine air. I don't get anything in the neighborhood of like cologne, Calone, if you're familiar with that note and its association with like oceanic or marine types of fragrances. Nothing in that direction. This is another one that gives elevated, clean spa vibes like Lineage does. There's also the floral aspects, both yellow and white florals. I think the tonka bean probably adds that sort of vanillic, creamy, delicate, powdery softness to it. So I would say it's somewhat sweet, somewhat spicy, floral, clean, spa-like ocean air. It feels very wispy, high in the atmosphere, flowing. It's got like this flowing gown feel to it. And it's just super duper lovely, super duper lovely. I feel like this fragrance is amazing for about the first 4 to 5 hours. After that, it kind of dies down a little bit, at least a couple times that I've worn it. Maybe it will change in the future. But it's that first opening part of the experience, the first part of the day when you wear it that is just glorious to me. So that is my lineup. There are probably others that could have been in this video as I looked through the collection to think about what really deserves a spot here. These were the ones that rose to the top this year for this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with these selections? Are there others that you would put here? This sort of sophisticated, ultra luxe clean category. Do drop those down in the comments. I look forward to hearing your suggestions as well. See you in the next video. Take care.